Good everybody, it's your boy Reaper back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about a Battlefield game that tried to shake up Battlefield as a brand and as just the game itself. And today I'm talking about Battlefield Hardline. Released back in 2015, it wasn't your ordinary Battlefield game, your soldier storyline and soldier shootouts and the typical army storyline that you get in Battlefield. It swapped out soldiers and war zones for cops, robbers, and a whole lot of high speed chases. But did this gamble pay off, or did it fall flat? Well, that's what we're going to discuss today. So without further ado, let's get into it. One of the biggest departures Hardline made from the traditional Battlefield series was its campaign. Instead of a globe-trotting military story, you step into the shoes of Nick Mendoza, a detective in Miami caught up in corruption, drug cartels, and double crosses. The whole thing is structured like a TV crime drama, complete with episode recaps and cliffhangers. Now, this approach was ambitious. It felt fresh compared to the cookie cutter military plots in most shooters. But the execution? It's pretty much a mixed bag, honestly speaking. Some episodes are genuinely fun with stealth mechanics and crime scene investigations that make you feel like an actual cop. Similar crime scene investigations like in Batman, like Arkham Knight. But other missions quickly devolve into standard battlefield shootouts. The pacing of the story is sometimes uneven, and while the game tries to be cinematic, the dialogue and plot twists often land in cliche territory. Just like the plot twist towards the end, the big plot twist, the main plot twist of the story. It's a cool idea, but it doesn't quite reach its potential. Let's talk about the gameplay and mechanics. Hardline plays like Battlefield at its core large maps, strategic gunplay, and lots of vehicles. But the cops and robbers setting brought some unique twists. Instead of tanks and helicopters, you're chasing down criminals in sports cars, SWAT vans, and even ziplining across rooftops, which I thought was pretty cool. The first time I played this back, I don't even remember when, but back on the PS3 was the first time I played this game. Arresting enemies with your badge out instead of just gunning them down was a nice change of pace, but at least in the campaign. In multiplayer, it felt more like a gimmick. Still, the focus on urban environments and faster paced combat definitely set Hardline apart from other Battlefield games. That said, the shooting itself is classic Battlefield, tight, responsive, and satisfying. If you've played Battlefield 3, 4, you'll feel right at home here. But don't expect a huge evolution of the formula. It's more of a side experiment than a revolution. Now we're going to talk about the multiplayer modes, the bread and butter of any Battlefield game. Hardline introduced some new modes that leaned into the cops versus criminals theme. One being Heist. Heist had criminals breaking into vaults while cops tried to stop them. Blood Money was a chaotic tug of war over stacks of cash, while Hotwire turned vehicles into mobile objectives, basically turning every round into a high speed chase. These modes were genuinely fun and brought some fresh energy to the Battlefield formula. However, traditional Battlefield fans looking for huge, large scale warfare with jets and tanks were a bit disappointed. The scale felt smaller, and some players said it leaned more toward Call of Duty style fast action than Battlefield's usual strategic depth. Unfortunately, the player base didn't stick around long term. The novelty of the cops and robbers theme wore off pretty quick, and many fans went back to Battlefield 4, which offered a more classic experience. Now we move on to the graphics and sound. Visually, Hardline looked solid for its time, built on the Frostbite 3 engine. The urban environments were detailed and colorful, from sunny Miami streets to dusty deserts. It didn't break new ground technically, but it delivered the kind of polish you'd expect from a Battlefield game. The sound design, though, was top notch. Battlefield games have always excelled in this department, and Hardline kept that tradition alive. Gunfire was punchy, explosions were thunderous, and the police radio chatter added to the immersion. The licensed soundtrack also gave missions a stylish TV drama vibe, as I said in the beginning. What my opinion and let me say criticism of the game, basically, like, here's the thing. Hardline tried to be different, but maybe it was too different from original Battlefield games. For long-time Battlefield fans, the lack of large-scale military warfare felt like a betrayal of the brand's identity, and for casual shooter fans, it didn't stand out enough to pull them away from games like Call of Duty, which is Battlefield's biggest competitor. The game was also criticized for being released so soon after Battlefield 4, which had its own problems at launch. Many players saw Hardline as a side project or even filler title rather than a true next step in the series, and honestly, the player base dried up quickly. Like, I'm talking about quick, leaving the multiplayer scene pretty barren and empty. My final opinion on this, whether Battlefield is worth playing today or even purchasing, well, if you're looking for a single player crime drama experiment and something different from what you usually play, it's an interesting detour in the Battlefield franchise, I will say this. The campaign has moments of creativity, even if the writing and pacing doesn't always deliver. The multiplayer was fun at launch, especially modes like Heist and Hotwire, but the lack of lasting support and a dwindling community hurt it in the long run. In the end, Hardline is a game that tried to reinvent Battlefield, but ended up as a more of a curiosity than a classic. It's worth checking out if you're a fan of the series and want to see something different, but don't expect the depth or staying power of Battlefield's best entries. Thanks for watching this Battlefield Hardline review. What did you think of the game when it first launched? If you did play it on launch, or if you are thinking of playing it, or have played it recently, what's your opinion on it? Did you enjoy the cops and robbers theme and just the whole different take on Battlefield? Because this was a pretty interesting thing, and the whole theme is what drew me, basically, let me say that drew me to actually playing the game. First time I played it, like I said, it was interesting. I did enjoy it. So if you're looking for something different but are a Battlefield fan, I think you should check it out, you know. Well, like I say in every video, drop your thoughts about the game in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. For more deep dives into classic games. See you in the next one. Reaper signing out. Peace.